Hey guys, so today we're going to be working on decontaminating the paint on the 2015 GLK 350. I have a whole bunch of different iron removers sitting here. We're just going to mess around with a couple different ones and see how they work. You've seen me use Sidero and the Furies before on videos. You've probably seen me use Armour Iron. You've probably seen me use Age of Iron. But anyway, I'm just going to mess around with all of them. These two I'm going to leave off to the side. That's Sonex Full Effect and Koch Chemi Reactive Wheel Cleaner. Although they're both, they contain iron removers, neither one of them say on it that they're safe for paint, where all of these do. What we're trying to deal with here is removing contamination from the vehicle. And I will say this is going to be one of those things that's a little hard to see on camera until I spray the chemicals on and everything turns purple. But the entire side of this car is peppered with little black dots. And those dots are actually iron filings from the road, from rails, from a variety of different things. Brakes, lots of things can do this. So what I have here in this bucket is just a little hero, just to clean everything up and make sure that we're starting off with a clean surface. But this is going to get polished anyway, so it's not a huge deal. I just want a reasonable starting point and no reason to introduce more marring than we have to. All right, so let's try Age of Iron first, because I only briefly use this on wheels. What I'm going to do is I'm going to spray an area, I'm going to let it sit for a little while, and then we're going to come back and we're going to hit it with a clay bar. I'm using an actual clay bar here because this is really contaminated. So I've already done like this section right here. Let's try Iron X, which is CarPro product. And we'll just try to do little squares. So you see these purple dots that are starting to form? Zoom you in so you can see what I mean. It's like little purple freckles, kind of all over the place. And there are different tools and chemicals that you can use for this. Like I said, I'm using an actual clay bar. One, because I had it, and two, because there's quite a bit of metal. So really here, these products are designed to break down iron. They're not all necessarily designed to be used with a clay bar. I think really the one that advertises that is DIY Detail. Ivan recommends you can use theirs with a clay bar. And I did the other side of the car yesterday off camera, because sometimes it's just nice to like listen to music and not record a video. But anyway, so we're just kind of flipping this. This is like a standard, like a medium clay bar. You could probably use a synthetic decontamination towel. I know that the one from DIY Detail works fine with theirs, but I don't know that all of them will. I like to do this as 2 passes. So I do like a left-right pass. Every couple of inches or pass or so, I'll kind of flip the clay over as it flattens out. It can be a little bit easier to hold it flat like this in your fingers. Whatever's comfortable for you. You do this long enough, your hand will get tired, no matter how you're holding it. And then, once I kind of hit the whole panel, I'll do some larger sweeps like this. Again, knowing that I'm going to come back and clean all of this up. So I do like to make sure I get into these nooks and crannies. We can come back and hit some of those areas later if we want to, but we are going to polish this whole thing. All right, so Age of Iron, that worked well. I was using Furies yesterday, and man, that stuff stinks. Works well, but it stinks real bad. I use Sidero as well. Sidero works awesome, but also stinks bad. These two are both a lot better about the scent. And honestly, Age of Iron worked really well. Oops. If this hits the dirt, you want to throw it out because the clay bar will absorb the dirt and you'll end up scratching the crap out of your car with it. It's kind of one of the nice things about Swiss tracks. It tends to stay clean, and this car's pretty scratched up anyway, and I'm going to be paint correcting it regardless. So these two both worked really well, honestly. Let's rinse this off and then we'll try another section. This is kind of a low pressure spray tip. Truth be told, Keeve did a video and was using it, cars with Keeve. And I thought, that's cool, I want to buy that. So basically it's a stainless steel, like this is on a Mosmatic, on a OG gun. You could use it with your pressure washer on or off. It works either way. I have to use it with my pressure washer on because I draw from a tank, so there's no line pressure. So, Age of Iron and Iron X. Let's try, this is Armour Iron. This one smells the best by far, so far. So if it's effective, it's the one that I would want to use. This is a good day for gloves, because not only are these chemicals probably not good for you, but they will definitely make your arm smell all freaking night. Nobody wants that. Go eat finger food, then your food like tastes like iron remover smells, and it's just, the whole thing is not good. I hit these windows and then probably gonna throw away this piece of clay. It'll pick up crap from the rubber, and as hard as glass is, it can still get iron deposits. ADS Iron, we're not really having as much bleeding going on here. Here's a new piece of clay bar. You really just need like a quarter size, like the actual like currency quarter, not a quarter of the clay bar. And well, actually, interesting. This is working pretty well. It's definitely not as strong as like Sidero or even the last two that I just tested, but I can still see like the black specks leaving as I go over it. Annoyingly, the dealership did like a clear bra on this car, and they did edges of the doors, and like there are knife marks on the doors. Like, and I mean, I've done vinyl on cars before. It's kind of hard to make knife marks on doors unless you really don't know what you're doing. But they're at the right angle and in the right spot for them to be because of that. So I don't know, just that's what I'm gonna guess did it. I find that annoying. There's just a little bit of the black from the rubber running down the car. Maniac iron remover. So we'll do the bottom of the door with this one. And I bet this is really strong. It definitely smells it, let's just say that. It stinks. But I'm guessing that this is strong because Mafra makes Maniac, and they also make Labocosmetica, which is Sidero. It stinks though, holy crap. So I definitely wouldn't want to use this without ventilation, but look at the bleeding. It's massive, holy crap. So we'll just let this change. While that's happening, let me grab some Hero. Let's wash the front door because we'll be doing this next. Honestly, decontamination is one of my least favorite parts of prepping a car, but I haven't had one that was really bad in a while. So I guess it is nice. It lets me work through some of these iron chemicals and test a couple different ones out. You know, sometimes you get so used to cleaning clean cars that, I don't know, you're not really like a good tester for things anymore, right? So you almost need a dirty car in your life just to be able to clean it occasionally. So this is white diamond. So I like that the Maniac has like some cling to it. I think this has good atomization. Sprayer is not adjustable, but it does a decent job. And we're seeing a lot of bleeding here. So we can, let's start working on some of the Maniac in a future video, which will not be this one, but it might get recorded today. We will remove these trim from the car, the chrome. I just don't like chrome. Nothing against people who do. It's part of the design language for Mercedes-Benz for a lot of their cars. Some of the cooler stuff, the AMG stuff, is more black, but there's still chrome in a lot of Mercedes, and they do look good blacked out. Maniac stinks, but boy is it effective. I will say for me personally though, so far, I would rather scrub a little bit more with something that doesn't smell so bad than suffer through such a strong chemical. I did half the car yesterday and had a headache for most of the afternoon. This is white diamond here. This definitely smells better than the Maniac. Again, you kind of have to pick at it more. This one's more, this is slicker though. Definitely more lubrication in the white diamond. I do like iron removers that are a little bit more, I don't know, colorful, reactive. Ones that light up a little bit more, especially for, well, really any car. This is white and these specks are black, so you would think that it'd be pretty easy to see, but the specks are small. So I'd say any color car, you're better off with something that lights up a little bit better. This one here is P&S Iron Buster. This was kind of my go-to back in the day. It's mid-level stinky, we'll call it. It definitely smells, but it's kind of mid-level. You can see this one has like a foaminess to it. That could also be the sprayer potentially, but and let's try Tricks. This is a product from CarPro that is a tar and iron remover. So we'll see how this does. So Tricks Definitely needs a little bit more scrubbing than some of the other ones did. Maybe with a little bit more dwell time it could be better. P&S is stronger, requires less effort. So what we saw is there seems to be a disparity or a negative correlation between how much one of these products smells, how bad it smells, and how good it cleans. We tested out the Armour. The Armour doesn't smell very strong, but you have to put a little bit of effort into actually getting the metal off of the car. This absolutely stinks, but it does a great job of kind of breaking everything down without you having to touch it. So I think for me, what I would do is I would probably take something like this, spray the whole car, rinse it off, and then follow up with, you know, one of those with a clay bar. Just have to do a little bit less work. I'm going to put Sidero here right in front of the camera so you can see what I mean. You see how it's like, it's like glue. And then I'm going to mess around with Age of Iron one more time just to see how that works. So you see how fast the Sidero starts turning purple? It's pretty nuts how quickly it bleeds. Check this out, like look at how Sidero's kind of nuts, not gonna lie. Like, it's definitely, if you want the best performance, like, and you don't care how bad it stinks, I mean, it's got great lubricity, don't get me wrong, because it's so thick, because it's like a gel, like, it's almost like you're kind of floating in goop. You're probably gonna get it all over yourself because it's so thick, because it's like hard to not, you know, fling it on yourself as you're using it, especially if you're, and look at, see how like soapy it is? How like it's soapy? So Sidero's wild. It's to steal a word from Eddie, it's pretty nuts. I'm sorry everybody else, it wasn't even a fair fight. Sidero's pretty crazy. So today I tested out 9 different iron removers so you don't have to. Let's really divide these into 3 categories. In the middle here, P&S Iron Buster, CarPro Iron X, Maniac Iron Remover, Trix, White Diamond, Red Iron Wheel Cleaner. All of these have a middle of the road smell. They're not incredibly strong, but you can definitely smell them, and it's probably something that would give you a headache if you're using it long term, you know, all day. Some unique things. The Maniac Iron Remover is more gel-like. It sticks on the panel a little bit better. So for doors and, you know, side panels, I think that that's a nice touch to have that. The P&S Iron Buster has a little bit more foam to it, a little bit more lubricity or lubrication. So if you're using a clay bar, that can be nice for that. Trix wasn't, you know, it's not the most effective, but it does have a tar remover in there as well. I don't know how well the tar remover works because I don't have tar all over this car, but Yeah, that could be something where maybe you have one product that does both things. But all of these were like middle of the road effectiveness. And in my opinion, if you're going to deal with the smell anyway, you might as well just get a sledgehammer. So Furies and Sidero, those two down the end here, these are by far the most effective in terms of the cleaners. Sidero is insane. It's like a gel. It comes out like paste. Everything turns purple. It's just nuts. The Furies is super strong as well. It's got a really strong scent. It smells terrible. It's super effective, but it is more watery, less gel-like. You know, for me, if I was going to buy one or two of these products to keep, right, I would probably buy Sidero because Sidero can be diluted 1 to 3. And right now I'm using it full strength, but it can be diluted 1 to 3. And the Furies can't really be made thicker, but Sidero could be made thinner if you wanted it to be more like the Furies. So I'm saying that Sidero diluted is going to be very similar to the Furies. But Sidero is really, really strong. So if you want a sledgehammer for your shelf, you want something that, you know, can sit here that you can use when something is really, really, really bad, Sidero, I think, is the one. Sidero also has a ton of lubrication. It's like soap on your hands when you're using it. It's really, really slick. So it allows you to, you know, have a good experience if you're using a clay bar or some sort of like decontamination towel or something along those lines. These two down here both have by far the best user experience. So the Armour Detail Supply Iron Fallout Remover and the Detail Co. Age of Iron both required a little bit more agitation, but I didn't really care because they don't stink. They have a smell to them. The smell isn't the best, but the smell is not strong at all. You know, in my opinion, if I was doing this on a regular basis, you know, I'm using an iron remover pretty continuously, I would buy one of these two for my shelf. And I would keep that as like my daily. This is the one that I always use. You know, maybe it needs a little bit more elbow grease than something else does, but it feels safer on the paint and it doesn't stink and it doesn't give you a headache 10 minutes into using it. And then I would probably also have a bottle of Sidero because just in case you get something that's really, really bad, that you want something that's a sledgehammer, you could pull that out. You could use Sidero if you want to, and you could have like insane power in dealing with this. That's my take on all of these. Everything in the middle I would probably just not do, honestly. Not that any of them are bad, they all work. It's just like if you're gonna deal with the scent and the elbow grease, you might as well have the elbow grease without the scent or the scent without the elbow grease. Does that make sense? So anyway, thank you for watching today, and I hope that you're having a great day.